I don't know. It is Wednesday, July the 24th, day 21. Losing weight with Nate. It's a late start to the morning in terms of the video. I got up early to drop my fiancée off. I just want to read out today's daily wisdom quote from the book that I talked about yesterday, Daily Stoic. The title is Somewhere Someone's Dying. I read this earlier. Whenever disturbing news is delivered to you, bear in mind that no new news can ever be relevant to your reasoned choice. Can anyone break news to you that your assumptions or desires are wrong? No way. But they can tell you someone died. Even so, what is that to you? Epictetus Discourses 3.18.1-2. A well-meaning friend might ask you today, what do you think about insert tragedy from the other side of the world? You, in your equally well-meaning concern, might say, I just feel awful about it. In this scenario, both of you have put aside your reasoned choice without doing a single thing for the victims suffering from the actual tragedy. It can be so easy to get distracted by, even concerned by, horrible news from all over the world. The proper response of the Stoic to these events is not to not care, but mindless, meaningless sympathy does very little either. It comes at the cost of one's own serenity in most cases. If there is something you can actually do to help these suffering people, then yes, the disturbing news and your reaction to it has relevance to your reasoned choice. If emoting is the end of your participation, then you ought to get right back to your own individual duty, to yourself, to your family, to your country. That's really relevant to me because it's pretty much how I view current events in the news. I just don't care about it, to be honest. I know that the news most of the time is just full of negative stuff. Like, when do you ever hear really good stories? It's mostly fear-mongering, political stuff, and just crap, really. So I don't bother. I also don't really engage in much social media stuff, as you can probably tell from my presence. I barely use Facebook. I don't use Instagram at all. I'm not on Twitter. Yeah. YouTube is about the only thing that I actually use. Generally, I try to use it from an educational perspective, but sometimes I do get sucked into the YouTube rabbit hole of just mindlessly watching entertaining videos, which is a bad habit and something I'm working on. But pretty relevant. From a weight loss side, I don't know how it can help us. I guess it just means don't worry about other people's problems. Just focus on your goals. And one way that I thought about it was that just by reading the title, Somewhere Someone's Dying, is that no matter how bad you think it is, it can be far worse. You know, we might be complaining about not being able to eat certain foods, where in other parts of the country people can't even eat at all. So we got nothing to complain about. We're a first world country, or so we think we are. Sometimes it feels not quite like a first class country, which is, I guess, perspective, right? I was also reading The Compound Effect this morning. I just completed chapter 3, so I'm on just the last page. So at the end of every chapter, he has, I don't know if you can see that. I'll just take a screenshot on my phone, a picture on my phone. But he has a list of summary action steps just to make sure that you apply what you've just learned. And this one, he essentially tells you to identify your 3 best habits, bad habits, and new habits that you want to develop. And then he talks about identifying your core motivation, find your why power, and order a copy of another book of his, which is fair enough. And then the next chapter, which I just read the first page, is chapter 4, which talks about momentum, which he calls Big Mo. So yeah, that's probably the morning update. I did have my breakfast. It was a bit disgusting. It's a different recipe. My fiance added Weet-Bix, half Weet-Bix, half oats, a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, I didn't enjoy it at all. So I won't be doing that again. I'll go back to my overnight oats. Very yummy recipe. So yeah, I've only had a coffee and that, so 800 calories. I'm at 461 steps, and I'll be going back to F45 tonight. I've booked myself for the 5:10 p.m. class. There is a 6 o'clock one, but I think I'll just do the 5:10. And today is like a cardio day, from what I understand. Yesterday was stage 2. Today is cardio, and then Thursday, I think, is another strength-based day. I have to have a look. But yeah, I guess I should talk about F45 a little bit. My first session was last night. First time doing it was kind of a lot to take in. I basically felt really out of place because I didn't know anyone there. I was, not really sure what to do. I ended up, they do have a demonstration at the beginning, but it's a lot of information. Most of it's pretty straightforward. They have stations, or they call them pods, and within a pod you have multiple exercises or stations. I think there's four stations, and you basically you start at a station, you do an exercise, I think for a minute, then there's a 30-second, 40-second rest or something, and then you do it again. You do a total of 3 sets, I think, and then you just try to do as many reps as you can. You're meant to take notes, so the trainers were handing out little pieces of paper to everybody. I didn't get one for some reason. So I was just kind of fumbling around, trying to do the exercise properly, and just try to keep up, to be honest. There were some exercises that I couldn't do at all. There was a plank push-up. I can't remember what it was called. I just did that on my knees. And the sit-ups, I couldn't really do those. And then there was a single lunge I had difficulty with. Some of them were pretty easy, and then there was some movements that I just haven't done at all. So it was more about learning the form more than anything. But I think I got a pretty good taste of it. It does end pretty quickly. I was meant to leave early because I had to shoot off home, have dinner, shower, get in the car, go to a pool straight after that. But I actually did the whole thing. And then they also have a stretching part, and I just couldn't stay for the stretching. So I just went straight home. But yeah, first impression, I talked to one of the young personal trainers there, one of the guys. He's a really nice guy. He did his best to kind of assure me of what the session was going to look like, and kind of introduced me to some of the other trainers that were there, and yeah, kind of made me feel comfortable. But then when it kicked off, it was just like, there's a little bit of chaos. Just for a first timer. I suspect the next time I do it, it'll be a lot easier, like, because I know where to go, what to do. You're meant to be partnered up with a buddy, I think, but I didn't get one. He did say at the start that they would try to partner me with someone who's experienced, but that never happened. It kind of just people formed into their little groups because, you know, some people know each other and whatnot. So that did make me feel a little bit out of place and uncomfortable. Kind of felt like a semi-negative experience, to be completely honest. And it did kind of put me off wanting to go back and do it again. But I think it's something that you just need to continue on. Maybe go to different class times, and different trainers might be there and might be a different experience. But it is pretty fast-paced. You don't really get too much time to just like sit around. There is a bench that he said if you get tired you can just take a rest and kind of watch everyone else, but I wanted to give it a crack, so I did. Anyway, this part of the morning is turning into a very long update, so I'll end it here just before 12 minutes and touch base later. Yo, just a quick one from me. It's 4:50 in the afternoon and I'm just waiting for my F45 cardio session at 5:10, going in at 5 o'clock. Thought I'd just do a quick video, maybe to talk about F45, but I believe today is like a cardio circuit, 12 stations, and you do 3 rounds per per station. The first one is 20 seconds, and then you double to 40 seconds. You go to 40 seconds, and then you go to 60 seconds, and each time you increase, you want to double the reps, as far as I understand. So apparently it's quite a brutal workout, so it should be interesting how we go. Anyway, I'll touch base after. Cheers. Yo, just a quick one from me. Just finished the workout, like dripping in sweat, as you can probably see. It's a little bit after 6 o'clock. Just did my first triple threat cardio session at F45. Man, it's one of the most intense things I've done for ages, in a very long time. The trainers were awesome tonight. It was a really good class. Got a lot of support from a couple of the trainers, which was awesome to see. Great for a new member, and yeah, kind of looking forward to it, to be honest. But there was a guy there who was training me. Man, he was like energizer bunny. Just did seem like he didn't get tired, but I spoke to him a little bit after and he said, nah bro, it's just the mindset. So I hope to get to that stage. Sounds like he lost a bit of weight. So yeah. Anyway, I've got to go inside, have some dinner, have a rest, and early night. See ya. Yo, it is just before 8:30 p.m. Just about to head out to get some ice cream. Fiance wants to have some ice cream, so we are gonna go get ice cream. I'm probably gonna help her have some, because last time she got some ice cream, I said I wasn't gonna have any because I didn't want to eat late, but I'm in a pretty huge calorie deficit today, and the massive cardio session that I did, it's not gonna hurt to have a tiny portion. So I'm gonna do that 8:30, and then I want to come home and have a sleep by 9ish, because I want to try and get up for the 5 o'clock class before I need to drop her off at 7. So anyway, I might touch base with you later. Sweet.